Imagine standing at a crossroads in the history of transportation. On one side, we have the internal combustion engine, a technology that has powered our cars, buses, and trucks for more than a century. It's familiar, it's reliable, and it has shaped the modern world. On the other side, we have the electric vehicle, a rising star in the automotive industry. Powered by batteries instead of gasoline, EVs promise cleaner air, quieter roads, and a new way of thinking about energy and mobility. But which is truly better? Which will dominate the roads in the future? The answer isn't as simple as choosing old versus new. Both ICE cars and EVs come with strengths and weaknesses, advantages and drawbacks, and even surprising trade-offs that many people overlook. In this video, we'll dive deep into the debate of ICE versus EV cars, exploring their history, performance, environmental impact, cost, convenience, and what the future might hold. By the end, you'll have a balanced view of the pros and cons, so you can decide for yourself which technology makes more sense for you and for the world. So buckle up. This isn't just about cars, it's about technology, economics, the environment, and the choices we make as a society. To understand where we're going, we need to know where we've been. The internal combustion engine has been the king of the road for over 100 years. From the early Ford Model T in 1908 to today's high-performance sports cars, ICE technology has continuously evolved, becoming more efficient, more powerful, and more reliable. Gasoline and diesel infrastructure spread worldwide, shaping cities, industries, and economies. But here's something many people forget. Electric vehicles aren't new. In fact, back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, electric cars were actually competing head-to-head with gasoline cars. They were quiet, easy to operate, and popular in big cities. However, the limited battery technology of the time made them impractical for longer trips. Once Henry Ford's assembly line made gasoline cars cheaper and oil became widely available, ICE vehicles quickly took over. Fast forward to the 21st century, and electric vehicles have made a comeback, thanks to advances in lithium-ion batteries, environmental concerns, and government policies pushing for cleaner energy. Companies like Tesla, BYD, and legacy automakers are investing billions to transition towards EVs. Meanwhile, ICE technology is not standing still. Engineers continue to improve efficiency with hybrid systems, turbochargers, cleaner fuels, and even synthetic fuels. So what we're really seeing today is not just a switch from one technology to another. It's a battle of innovation. When you press the accelerator, how do ICE and EV cars compare? EV performance. One of the most noticeable advantages of electric cars is instant torque. Unlike gasoline engines that need to build up power, electric motors deliver acceleration immediately. That's why even family-friendly EVs can feel surprisingly quick, and high-end models like the Tesla Model S Plaid can beat supercars off the line. EVs are also much quieter, creating a smooth, almost futuristic driving experience. ICE performance. On the other hand, internal combustion engines have their own charm. Many car enthusiasts love the sound of a roaring engine, the mechanical feel of gear shifts, and the raw connection between man and machine. For long drives, ICE cars also tend to offer consistent performance, especially at high speeds or when towing heavy loads. Handling and weight. EVs, however, often come with heavier batteries, which can affect handling. Automakers try to balance this with low battery placement for stability, but weight remains a challenge. ICE vehicles are lighter and sometimes more agile, especially in smaller cars. Maintenance. From a driver's perspective, EVs have fewer moving parts. No oil changes, no spark plugs, no exhaust systems. That means less routine maintenance. ICE cars, while more complex, have mechanics and spare parts available almost everywhere in the world. In short, EVs win on acceleration, smoothness, and low maintenance. ICE cars win on tradition, high-speed endurance, and availability. Cost and affordability. Let's talk money, because for most people, affordability is key. Upfront cost. Generally, ICE cars are cheaper to buy than EVs, especially in entry-level segments. While prices for EVs are dropping, the batteries are still the most expensive component. However, government incentives, tax rebates, and subsidies in many countries help bring EV costs closer to ICE vehicles. Running costs. Here's where EVs shine. Electricity is usually cheaper than gasoline or diesel, especially if you can charge at home during off-peak hours. EVs also have lower maintenance costs since they don't need oil changes or complex engine repairs. Resale value. ICE cars currently hold resale value better in some markets, but this is shifting as EVs gain popularity. Concerns about battery life can hurt EV resale prices, but warranties and better technology are reducing this gap. Long-term ownership. If you plan to keep a car for 8 to 10 years, EVs often become more cost-effective, especially if fuel prices are high. But if you're buying used or frequently upgrading, ICE cars may still be cheaper overall. In short, ICE cars win on upfront affordability, while EVs win on long-term savings. Infrastructure and convenience. This is one of the most debated areas. How convenient are ICE cars versus EVs? Refueling versus charging. With an ICE car, you can pull into a gas station almost anywhere and fill up in under 5 minutes. That convenience is unmatched. Electric vehicles, on the other hand, require charging. At home, this can take several hours. Fast chargers can deliver 80% in 30 minutes, but stations are not as common as gas stations. Range anxiety. Even though many EVs today can travel 300 to 500 kilometers on a full charge, drivers still worry about running out of power, especially on long road trips where chargers may be scarce. ICE cars don't have this problem since gas stations are everywhere. Urban versus rural. In cities with good EV infrastructure, charging is becoming easier and cheaper. But in rural areas or developing countries, ICE cars remain more practical. Energy sources. It's also worth noting, EVs are only as clean as the electricity that charges them. In regions powered mostly by coal, EVs may not be as green as advertised. On the flip side, in places with renewable energy, EVs are much better for the environment. Environmental impact. This is often the biggest argument for EVs, but it's not black and white. ICE cars. Traditional gasoline and diesel cars emit carbon dioxide and other pollutants directly from their tailpipes. They contribute to climate change, air pollution, and health problems in urban areas. Even with cleaner fuels and better engines, emissions remain a problem. EVs. EVs have no tailpipe emissions, which makes them great for city air quality. But the environmental impact comes from battery production. Mining lithium, cobalt, and nickel has environmental and social challenges. Plus, recycling EV batteries is still in its early stages. Life cycle emissions. Studies show that over their entire lifetime, EVs generally produce fewer emissions than ICE cars, especially when powered by renewable energy. However, in coal-heavy countries, the benefits are smaller. So the truth is, EVs are greener in the long run, but they're not perfect. ICE cars are worse for emissions, but EVs still have hidden environmental costs. The future outlook. So where are we heading? Governments worldwide are pushing for electrification. The EU, California, and several countries have announced bans on new ICE car sales by the 2030s or 2040s. Automakers are investing billions into EV development. However, ICE cars won't disappear overnight. In fact, in many regions, they'll continue to dominate for decades due to affordability, infrastructure, and consumer habits. Hybrids and synthetic fuels may also extend the life of ICE technology. The future will likely be mixed. EVs will dominate cities and developed markets. ICE cars will remain common in rural areas and developing nations. Hybrids will serve as a bridge between the two. The real winner? Probably the consumer, because competition between ICE and EV technology will drive innovation, giving us better, cleaner, and more efficient cars in the years to come. Closing thoughts. So after all this, the big question, are EVs better than ICE cars? The answer depends on your perspective. If you value tradition, availability, and long-distance convenience, ICE cars still make a lot of sense. If you care about sustainability, lower long-term costs, and cutting-edge performance, EVs are hard to ignore. Both technologies have their place, and the best choice isn't always about what's globally better, but about what fits your lifestyle, budget, and environment. At the end of the day, it's not really ICE versus EV. It's about how both can coexist and evolve to give us cleaner, smarter, and more enjoyable ways to move around. So whether you're a fan of the rumble of a V8 or the whisper of an electric motor, the future of driving has something for you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of technology and innovation.